I'm ready. Good evening, everybody. This is the Jeff and Dan Show.
I am Dr. Bendover.
Oh.
She bent over.
Well. What? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Jeff and Dan Show.
Yes.
I am Dan, the latter half of the Jeff and Dan Show. And this is my cohort, sometimes called Jeff, but he's really actually Dr. Bendover.
Yes.
And now, bend over.
And now, bend over.
But tonight on the Jeff and Dan Show, we are going to talk about the Jesus, Jones, and Mary gang. What is it? The Jesus and Mary...
Jesus, Mary chain.
Jesus and Mary chain.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about them.
Yes.
But first, I have a little bit of a complaint. Well, not really a complaint, but... Why do they do that kind of moment?
Okay.
What do they think they are? What do they think we are kind of moment?
Okay.
I was watching a commercial the other day, and I think it was for Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm not sure, but it showed this cute little kid.
Yeah.
He picked up a chicken wing, and he took a bite out of it, and then he went, just like that. He didn't chew, he didn't swallow. He took that piece of chicken and put it right behind his teeth. Think about it. Take a piece of food. Now you want to smile. What are you going to do with that food?
Put it behind your teeth.
Put it behind your teeth.
Yeah.
That's what that kid did. Who the fuck does that?
Nobody does that shit.
Sorry, I guess I shouldn't get so upset over such a minor issue. But you know what? And I observed it last night. As I'm watching, I think it was Chicago PD.
Okay.
You ever watch that show?
I have, just, yeah.
They got a real dick of a cop. A real tough guy.
Yeah.
Well,
Guy that always talks like this.
Yeah.
You fucking people
Yeah.
need to get your asses out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
You watch that show?
I have seen him, yes.
Well, he was having a sip of bourbon with his little gay lover friend, cop guy. I don't know. Little cutie boy, pretty
I don't
boy.
think I'm gay. Fuck that.
But they went and they showed them both taking a sip of this scotch.
Okay.
And this is how they look. Watch me closely. You can tell I didn't take a sip.
Yeah.
And if you look closely in every movie, in every TV show where they're eating, you can tell they don't really eat or drink.
Right.
Why?
Because they have a lot of shit to deliver after that, but still, you're right. You're right. They don't. I mean, there are some where, especially if it's something to do with that drink, you know, like I'm going to take a sip, then I'm going to spit it out. You know what I mean? Then yeah, I definitely want to be taking in whatever that is. But a lot of the times it's just, I can tell you right now, the majority of the times, because I've seen this shit live in person. An actor will have a glass of something or other. One of those little back things that, you know, is kind of interesting that people don't know a lot about is a lot of the times drinks like at a bar will be stuff like watered down iced tea. But it's that really, that Gold Peak iced tea that's crystal clear, like you can see through it.
So it looks like bourbon
Right,
or
exactly. And then
whiskey.
we just add a little water to it, and it waters it down, but it's enough of a consistency to look like whiskey. And then actors will drink that. Well, when you're in your 10th take, and they've had to down a fucking thing of that every single time. Can you imagine what that's like? Imagine you have it's a little low ball, like fucking this full of whiskey, and you drink it all.
Well, that's something, you know, the director... I'll tell you what. That's something the director and the actor have to work on. Because as a viewer, and certainly you do value my opinion.
Yeah.
As a viewer, I come to you and you put me in La La Land.
Right.
You take me away from planet Earth and its silly, petty little bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
You take me away for a while.
Yeah.
So I can forget about me.
Escapism.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, yes.
But you know what? You send me right back whenever I see that little... it's a school play. Okay, should I clap?
Yeah.
Whenever I see that fake eating, fake drinking shit, it just takes me... I want my fucking money back.
It takes you out of the escape, yes. You're right. You're right. There's a lot of stuff, actually, that does that. Another really good one is you go to see a fight movie and you want to see somebody beating somebody's ass. And you're paying close attention to that, and you're escaping your world for a little bit and jumping into John Wick's world for a minute. And then you realize the majority of the blows that guy's landing aren't even fucking touching that guy. Seriously.
You can see it, and you can see it because you have experience in it, and you've watched 1,000 movies and read 1,000 books.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, even though I know there's still other people out there that are just like, wow, the fight scenes are just really lame. You know what I mean? In some of these movies.
Now I'm going to have to look for it, because every fight scene I've ever thought was, wow, that looked pretty real. I don't know how they do it, but that looked pretty real.
That guy lost teeth. I don't know if I know. No, but I was watching John Wick 2 the other night. I saw it on TV, and I just decided to throw it on, and every once in a while I was paying attention to it, because that's some other stuff I was doing. And I started paying close attention to the choreographed fight scenes. And I think to myself, wow, he is moving super fucking slow. Just like, I mean, it probably is more realistic to what an actual fight looks like, where he's fighting a guy and then, like, he's taking these times to actually punch.
And it's awkward looking.
Right,
and
but it's right. It's not the action that you would typically see in a movie. In a movie, it's like, pop, 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 and you're just like...
Cool.
Yeah, right. And then this with John Wick, and don't get me wrong, I love the John Wick franchise, it's some good shit. But just to see him moving so slowly, it's just like, wow. There's a whole scene, I mean, dude, the fight scene, I kid you not, is 12 minutes long.
Whoa.
It's a long fight scene, okay? He goes into this warehouse and he starts kicking ass. He literally just goes in this warehouse and, like, all these bad dudes are just coming up on him and beating him, trying to beat up on him.
And
he went.
The dude that he beat up in minute number 2 really kicked his ass. Suddenly he's back at minute number 10.
Yeah.
Healed.
Stuff like that. Well,
must have put a quarter in his machine.
That's he's a vibrant bed now. Oh my God, I'm ready to fight again. Let's go. No, one thing you'll notice with the John Wick franchise, or any franchise really, is they'll fight. He'll knock that guy out. That guy's over there. And then he'll fight this other guy. Fight. Knock that guy out. He's over there. And he start fight. Knock that guy out. He's over there. Keeps going. Knocks out 25 dudes. Somewhere along the lines, you would think one of those 25 guys is going to get the fuck back up and start fighting again. But no, they never do. That's one that gets me every single time. I'm just like, okay, so every one of these fucking guys has been hit that hard that he's that knocked out that he's not getting back up right this minute.
I'll tell you what gets me. And I never get it during the movie because I'm usually still, they do a good job of committing me.
Right.
Or maybe I do a good job of committing me. Anyways, but I think about it afterwards, and you think about fights, and like Steven Seagal, and at the time he was in... it was a movie he was in, and it was in a city in town, and a carload of thugs got out of the car, and there was like 6 thugs.
Yeah.
And it's like, he kicked all their asses, man. Broke arms.
Right.
Right. And think about it. When he's beating up number 1 and number 2, what are 3, 4, and 5, and 6 doing?
Nothing.
Hey, what are you doing Saturday night? You got a light, man?
I know. It's awkward because they're always just standing there waiting. It's like...
Who's next?
And it's always those kind of fight scenes where it's like they're surrounding him. And he's like checking everybody out. And then he starts taking on dudes left and right. And they're all coming in one at a time. And like, who the fuck fights like that, man?
If it's 25-1, there you're getting it all at one time.
Exactly. You're going to have one guy that pummels you. And if he doesn't pummel you, he's going to be holding on to you while another guy pummels you. You know what I mean? It's just like... The fight scenes in movies are technically very, very unrealistic, and a lot of Steven Seagal movies are just like that. It's like...
Well, I look at Steven Seagal movies, and I used to really like him, and I used to really like his movies.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they just seem like junior high now.
Yeah.
And then his one line, which I thought was classic, is so junior high. And nobody beats me in the kitchen.
Right, yeah.
All right, sorry, Aunt Jemima.
Mr. Under Siege.
Go, boy.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, that movie Under Siege was the very first movie my wife and I ever saw together. We went on a date and saw it together.
I still like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love it. I don't like Steven Seagal so much. He's definitely gone way downhill now. He's all super Russian fan and stuff. He lives in Russia, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Is he really trained in all that martial arts, jibble jabble?
Some people say he is. Some people say he isn't. He did do the stunts, and he knew how to do a lot of the choreographed stuff that he did, and he was very fast. But some people say that he was not properly trained, and that there were some things that that he did not know. And if he had taken on somebody like, well, I don't know, Bruce Lee, he would have gotten his ass fucking handed to him. Chuck Norris would have kicked his ass in a heartbeat. One of those kind of things. But yeah, I mean, it really doesn't even have to play out that way. You know what I mean? Even if some guys, I've seen Ben Affleck kill some fucking dudes, kick their asses completely, reindeer games and stuff like that. And damn well that guy's not trained in anything, but he portrayed it and he did it and it looked good, Keanu Reeves has no martial arts background as far as I know whatsoever. That guy kicks ass every time you see him on the screen. But that's the thing. From the time when we were growing up, there was the kicking ass, taking names, and the punnery of being an action star. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the king of puns. Need a lift? That kind of shit. You know what I mean? Hey, Sully, remember when I told you I that I wasn't going to kill you? Yeah, I lied. That fucking the crazy cool ass shit that he would come up with, the stuff he would.
I bet you think this is a hologram. Ha ha ha! It's not.
Yeah, exactly. And there's tons and tons and tons of his stuff, and that's what makes him so cool. That's the reason why I own the whole Arnold Schwarzenegger collection, because that guy is just phenomenally funny. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't even, he knows he's doing the pun, but he doesn't even act like he is. He's completely the straight man, but he's doing these punny things.
I didn't even know that was funny.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell are you laughing at? Shut up. Yeah, exactly.
I could drive my Hummer through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways.
Exactly. So, but that was the thing back then. People had the catchphrases. People had the stuff that they wanted to hear. Nowadays, it's not so much that. It's more about the badassery of the situation.
What you mean?
It's like, a great example, John Wick. Okay, John Wick's only come out, I think 2007 was the first one, somewhere in there, and then, John Wick 2 and then John Wick 3, now there's John Wick 4 getting ready to come out at some point here soon. His whole demeanor is bombastic. But the thing is he's like a ticking time bomb. Let me give you a little background information. John Wick is the most deadly assassin ever to have lived. Okay, I mean, he is explosive.
John B. Nimble, John B. Wick.
Yes. There's a scene in the one movie, John Wick 2, as a matter of fact, where Stormare, I can't remember the guy's first name, but Stormare is that Russian guy you see in every single movie. He's always the bad guy. He's always like, that John Wick, he's crazy. They call him the Baba Yaga, which in Russian means the boogeyman. And he says, he once walked into a bar and killed 3 men with a pencil. and the guy standing at the door is like, I know, I've heard this stuff. And he's like, you don't understand. This guy's crazy. He will fucking kill us. Then John Wick comes up and you see him and he just starts devastating all these people. And you're just like, wow, he really is kind of this dude. You know what I mean? He's really, really wicked. But it's the things that they say now that they don't do like punny shit from before. You just wait for like the really cool comments. You know what I mean? Like, the one guy yells at him, he's like, why the hell are you doing this? And he just goes, because you killed my dog. You know what I mean? And you're just like, boom! Like, he hits you right in the balls with that shit. You know what I mean? It's like, that's just a badass comment because here this guy's wasting all these guys because they killed his dog.
Was that true?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they killed his puppy. he got a brand new puppy and then they fucking killed it and then like he went ballistic and started killing all kinds of people. I mean, he does.
Could you hang a man for that?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean,
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean,
sorry. Let me rephrase that question.
yeah.
Could you sit on a jury and hang a man, John Wick, that killed all those people over a dog?
Well, no, technically you couldn't. Legal wise, no. There's no rounds about it. But here's the thing: you fucked with John Wick, first of all. Second of all, this guy's totally illegal all the time. You know what I mean? Like he's just, and there's a whole underworld that goes on with this thing. Which is the other thing too about John Wick is it's kind of like a comic book feel because that's really what it is, but at the same time it's very video game-ish. You feel like you're in a video game. Like they give you little bits and details of what's going on.
What's he built like? Muscles out the ass,
No,
or just a regular Joe?
Just a regular guy. Long hair. You know, it's Keanu Reeves.
Oh, hippie. Oh,
Yeah.
the gay Keanu Reeves or the straight Keanu
No,
Reeves?
Keanu Reeves is a nice guy. Don't go there with them. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
I just want to know in case somebody wants to date him. It's all.
It's the fucking super straight Keanu Reeves.
Is he straight?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, big time. As a matter of fact, I think he's getting ready to get married to some chick. I forgot what her name is.
Did you ever? Elton John. Did you ever hear? Did you ever hear?
Liberace.
Did you ever hear the? Did you ever hear that rumor that he was gay?
I did, yeah. Yeah, that was a long time ago, though. But yeah, he's not. He's super straight. But he did, that guy's had a really, really rough life. I mean, like, he had a sister that had, a condition. She ended up dying from it. He had a fiance, a girl, that he was madly in love with. She ended up dying. His mom died under extremely weird circumstances. There's just like all kinds. This guy's been through a lot of shit. I mean, just a lot of stuff. And you have to really super admire not only the person that he is now, because he doesn't strike you as one of those people that's just overblown. You know what I mean? He's not a Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? He's not one of those people that's out there to be superhuman in size when it comes to popularity or his acting. But he is one of those people that does take seriously the roles that he does. He did a lot of training for John Wick, a lot of training. As a matter of fact, you can tell the difference between John Wick 2 and John Wick 3 as to how much training he did, because he's so much faster in John Wick 3. Like his fucking fighting skills are so much quicker.
How popular is John Wick?
Super. It's actually really big.
Are they still making them?
Yeah. John Wick 4 should be coming out next year, I think, as a matter of fact. As also, Bill and Ted. Coming out next year, too.
No way.
Yeah, Bill and Ted 3. Yeah.
Damn it.
And they're supposed to have a really big George Carlin tribute in the movie. It's not like they're like, well, we love George Carlin, here's the tribute. Nothing like that. It's going to be like they pay homage to him. You know what I mean? Like, because he played Rufus in the original first two movies. He was the guy that was the time traveling guy.
Yeah.
So they're paying a homage to him, and it's supposed to be really funny. And this time, it's supposed to be Bill and Ted's daughters end up getting into trouble and end up having to go. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But it definitely looks like fun, and I am going to see that as soon as it comes out.
Do you know what I think would sell? And I think it's already proven.
What's that?
Is a real genuine badass chicks like Harley Quinn is selling a little bit. Now, granted, it's appeals to emus and goths.
Emus.
Oh, wait, what are they?
Limu, emu, and Doug.
Those are funny commercials.
They fucking are. Yes, they are. That shit is crazy. I laugh my ass off every time I watch those. But you were saying the appeal to... Well, see, that's the thing, man. I like the idea of badass chicks, but I like the idea of badass chicks that aren't going to be thrown in your face as being badass chicks. Do you know what I mean? Kind of like the whole movie is the premise of these chicks are badass. You know what I mean? I don't need to know that. Great example. Did you ever see the reboots of Charlie's Angels?
I have not.
Okay. The three girls that were in that were Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, and Lucy Liu. A nice diverse crowd, although the two are blondes and the two are white. It's a decent diversity to their crowd. They came out, they did 2 movies. Charlie's Angels and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. Okay? And they always left the guys, they always left it open that at any time, any one of these angels could be replaced. It was just like, you've been selected to work with Charlie, and that's what you're doing.
Just another FBI agent.
Right, well, yeah, but they were all cops. They were all LAPD, I think. And at some point, they, because the original TV show was that way, they were all 3 police officers at the LA Police Academy.
So who'd you like the best of the originals?
Farrah Fawcett by far.
Really?
Yeah,
by far?
Yeah, by far.
Okay.
I had T-shirts of her with me.
Yeah.
I'm wearing them. You know what I mean? So, Kate Jackson was kind of cute.
Oh, that was my girl.
Caitlin Smith was definitely hot.
Jacqueline Smith?
Jacqueline Smith. Sorry, not Caitlin Smith. Jacqueline Smith was definitely hot. But
And there was
Farrah
one
Fawcett
more.
a shit.
There was one more when Farrah left. What was her name?
Cheryl Ladd.
Cheryl Ladd. Yeah.
But,
she was cute.
But the thing, yeah, she was cute. But the thing is I had the biggest thing for Farrah Fawcett, and I go back in time now and I look at Farrah Fawcett and I think to myself, what the fuck was I thinking? Oh my gosh, she's hideous.
Really?
I don't know. I wouldn't say hideous, but she was definitely different looking. You know what I mean? Like, she had, like, some wide-spaced eyes and some, yeah.
I still think was attractive.
I think the features were good. But as a fucking 8-year-old, I don't think I was sitting there looking at the features going, that ass. Watch that ass. Gotta play with yourself. No, none of that shit. But that's the thing. I don't know whether or not Farrah Fawcett was, I look back on her and I go, maybe she wasn't the best looking. Jacqueline Smith was good for me. Kate Jackson, she was the Asian sort of looking one. That's who Lucy Liu was sort of replacing in the new Charlie's Angels.
Is she Asian?
Kate Jackson?
Yeah.
No.
The new.
The
new
newer
angel.
ones. The newer ones, yes. Lucy Liu is she's Asian. She's Chinese or no, she might be Vietnamese or something like that. Anyway.
Of course they are.
But all 3 of them are beautiful. And that's been sort of the whole premise to the whole Charlie's Angels is the objectification of these women. You see these women as beautiful but lethal. But the Charlie's Angels reboot and the Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, with those 3 I mentioned, was meant to be not only a look back at the old Charlie's Angels, but also to update the franchise and to make it so that they were more appealing to a newer audience. Okay? The problem is, now they're rebooting it again.
Same.
No, 3 new fucking women.
No, same company.
I think, but I'm not sure.
Do you think maybe the reason was, I know we can make a go of this, Bill. We just got to give it another try.
I think there's a good possibility that.
Or do you think?
I think they're just trying to tap into the wallets of the people that are going to see movies.
It's just they know there's X amount of people that are going to go see movies no matter how much that sucks.
Right.
Especially if you get the right thing. Like, what was that movie? Superman is in a threesome with Batman and Robin? No, wait. Superman versus Robin. No?
Superman versus Batman.
And
Batman
one of them was
versus
throbbing.
Superman. One of them was throbbing.
I was trying to make a gay sex joke.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Okay, so here we go. Here is the trailer. I am not showing everything.
You are in the presence of angels.
We were watching the trailer for Charlie's Angels #2.
Hello?
Number 2.
You're in grave danger. Get out of there now!
Patrick Stewart on
Open Safe House 6.
Welcome to the Townsend Agency. I run a covert group of exceptional women. So you guys are like lady spies. We work outside the rules.
I don't like that, boy.
In secret. together. You may not know we exist, but we are always watching.
Who steals humanitarian aid money?
You are in the presence of angels.
So, you want to train to be an angel?
Hell yeah. Give me my wings.
Writer director Elizabeth Banks.
Where do you think you're going?
Who is that chick right there?
Bird, Hoffman. What? Later.
Sit down, keep your hands where I can see them.
Really not supposed to be touching things in here unless you're supposed to be touching things in here.
You're adorable.
Jane, is that you flirting with a handsome nerd?
The best part isn't taking down international criminals. It's you guys.
And the day drinking. That's what I like the most.
Still watching Charlie.
Take her to the closet. Oh my God. So I can just take whatever I want?
Borrow.
Is that an actual rule?
Who are they trying to? Miley Cyrus?
Angel.
Right there.
Time to go to work.
Her.
No. That was her in the middle.
Time to go to work.
Right. There.
Angel. Time to go to work.
She's not actually a big part in the movie.
Does she tweet in the movie?
Does she tweet?
A tweak.
Tweet?
Twerk.
Twerk?
Twerk.
I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't seen any ideas that whether or not they do. She does that or not. But now that you've watched that, are you at all turned on?
Do I want to see the movie?
No. I mean, like sexually, did like do anything for you?
While the one girl was wearing a wig, I thought, man, she's pretty. But the minute she took it off and revealed her short,
Kind of butchy hair.
yeah,
Yeah.
I lost it.
Yes. I got a twinge in my penis and then. That's Kristen Stewart. Okay. Kristen Stewart is most notoriously famous for doing the Twilight series.
The sex scenes.
No, Twilight. Remember the
Oh yeah.
Dracula? There were the vampires and werewolves and Frankenstein. I don't fucking remember. Anyway, I never saw the shit, so I'm just kind of like whatever. She's most notorious for her lead role in that, and her acting in every single movie that she has ever been in has been rather drab and boring. She's a bad actress, to put it bluntly. She's not very good.
Well, I tell you already, this is badly written.
Oh yeah, well, I don't want to put it off to Elizabeth Banks, but here's the things that I've noticed so far. First of all, they've sterilized sexuality, so nothing in there made me bone hard. They have taken all the what are going to be badass women and given them fucking superpowers, like those glowing fucking things in their wrist and the back of her neck. And what the fuck is that shit? You know what I mean? We don't fucking have that technology. Nobody does. Nobody wants that technology. I don't want to be tagged. They've taken action and adventure. Now, some of the things are a little bit cutesy, a little bit funny. But if you go back and you watch the Charlie's Angels and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, the sexuality is just brimming in that fucking movie, both of those movies at all times. These chicks are playing off of each other. The sexual tension is so high.
Know? Don't you know? You must not know. I'm so sorry to be the one to tell you this.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What?
Sex is so 80s, man.
I know. It's so fucking overrated now.
You're not allowed to pop boner anymore.
Sex doesn't fucking sell. It's pissing me off.
Yet it does
pissing me
sell.
off. It does sell. It does sell.
It's
It still
even
sells
being-
to me.
It's being given away for free on the internet. Not that I would know.
You can't watch porn. You're not allowed to. But no, you're right. It's dead. Honestly, I think the whole thing was just sterilized. Like they were like, you
Well,
know
dude,
what? Let's make it positively beautiful for everybody. Let's make trans people enjoy this movie. Let's make fucking gay people enjoy this movie. Let's make men enjoy this movie. Let's make women enjoy. In the process of doing that, they have castrated, neutered, and sterilized the whole fucking thing. Even with their cutesy bending over with the short shorts on and stuff like that. That stuff to me just didn't drive me insane. Even if I didn't know that was Kristen Stewart, I would still be like, okay. But now we have Kristen Stewart, who's a dark-haired white woman, who's a terrible actress. Elizabeth Banks, who wrote, directed, and did the fucking acting in this.
She's an A-list celebrity.
Yeah, well, sort of. I mean, she is, but she isn't. And then two kind of newcomers with a young light-skinned black woman, who's not at all, disenfranchised. I'm not looking at her and going, "Oh my God, you're terrible."
Well,
but pretty. I am looking at
she's pretty.
But I'm looking at her and I'm going, am I supposed to be gay, just diversity, or am I just supposed to be like, here you are for what reason, And then, of course, an Asian woman who doesn't come across as super Asian. So she's definitely a Kate Jackson feeling girl, but it's kind of like, So I'm just like, I'm kind of dead about that whole reboot situation anyway, and you know that. I do not like the reboots. I do not like the rehashings. I do not like any of this shit. Don't do that stuff. Just either try and do a continuation, but don't try and revamp something, man. Come up with something fucking new, Elizabeth
No, I think you have to, but I don't think you have to do it every 5 years. Let's just take, and I like this series. I'm just going to use them as an example. But let's just take Batman.
Okay.
Our first Batman was what? Bruce Wayne in Adam West in the 1950s, 1960s version.
Yes.
You look at it now and you think, that guy's gonna kick some ass.
But we had fun.
Bam! Pow!
Yeah. We had fun. We watched.
Well, we had fun and we enjoyed it.
Right.
We needed an update.
Right.
Along comes Michael Keaton.
Right.
And does a fine job. New suit, badass suit, new things. A little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
Maybe even so they needed a revamp.
Sure.
They probably didn't have to go the way of what's this new guy's name?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. I was going to say that, but I didn't know.
Right.
They didn't have to go and make 20 movies of him.
Well, they made 3, but the thing is that he's after 2001, September 11th, 2001, everything movie-wise went to dark. Everything's got to be dark and moody and shitty feeling and kind of gritty and raw, and there can't be any fun in movies anymore. Fucking people just can't fucking have fun anymore. We've got to have movies that are fucking so gritty and so raw that people are going to be like, wow, this is real life. But it's not. That's the fucking point. It's not. It's still not right. You know what I mean?
Real life. It's the news.
Right. Exactly. A great show that people love to watch is Riverdale. It comes on CW Network, and everybody's like, my wife loves to watch that show. And I'm like, have these fucking people ever heard of Lights? You know what I mean? Every fucking scene in the show is dark as shit. It's like, why does it have to be so fucking dark? Because everything has to be dark and moody now. Riverdale's such a great fucking investment because it's that comeuppance of Archie. Archie fucking comics. Remember Archie?
Oh, yeah.
Jughead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All those people now have this TV show, and that's what this TV show is. It's Archie. That's what it is. It's Archie. The fun-loving, let's have fun, go kick sand in some guy's face, Archie. Jughead and fucking Veronica and Betty and all, it's no longer that. Now it's this evil, twisted, fucking disgusting shit.
Do you think maybe their objective is their strategy or their objective is to shock you, traumatize you, shock you more than the last guy did?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah.
I don't care what it is. If you got to show 2 dudes sucking dick.
Yeah. Exactly.
Push the envelope.
I mean, I'm betting you somewhere inside fucking this new Charlie's Angels is going to be some kind of super non-hetero fucking situation going on. Not girls having sex with each other.
No.
No. Couldn't be anything to interest us. No. It'd have to be something that's going to be like two gay guys kissing it out in the middle of a fucking dance club when they're, and it's all going to be in the dark, and it's going to be real raw, and it's going to be real gritty, and it's going to be focused on trying to attract those people who are interested in that kind of stuff. But to be honest with you, that shit has really no place in the movies. For a while there, they were talking about making Poe Dameron, the guy in Star Wars, gay. They were like, let's make him gay. And I'm like, fucking why? Why? Why do I need to have this guy be gay? Why can't he just be a dude?
I think he would have lost a lot of the audience.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people that were pissed off that Star Trek did it. They made Sulu gay. Yeah, and they didn't even show him doing anything. I was so happy when I saw the movie, and I was like, oh my God, Sulu's got a husband, and they have kids. Great. They're not making out. They're not fucking one another. They're not blowing each other. They're just walking away with their children on leave. Hey, great. I have no issues with that. You can assume what you want to assume, especially in the future when all that might be acceptable and everybody's like, okay, cool.
Or if we find a cure.
We'll go.
I was just a joke.
Pray the gay away.
I'm sorry, that was not very nice of me. I take that back.
Speaking of which, just real quick, I want to go over something. The Jesus and Mary chain. No, I'm not talking about the band.
Oh.
I am not talking about the Jesus and Mary chain band. I am talking about the Jesus and Mary chain that delivers these guys. The Star of Hope. It is the Star of Hope. I have Mennonites that come out to my, as a matter of fact, it's from the Mennonite church. They come out every weekend, regularly, and deliver these to my door. They put them in my door handle. In the wrong door, but still. And they asked me one time, they came to the door, and my wife was just like, don't talk to them. Just. And they asked me. They said, I'm sorry, they weren't even asking me. I sort of said, oh, cool, it's the Star of Hope, or, it's the little paper. And she's like, oh, do you read it? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, when I get a chance to, I actually sit down and read these. And I do. Because sometimes the stories in these things are interesting. You know what I mean? They're compelling. I have no qualms in saying that. I'm not a big Jesus fanatic. I don't go to church regularly, and I'm not really a religious person. But reading these scriptures and these ideas that they have in these things are interesting. I really honestly think that. But my wife always gets on my case. She always says, why did you tell them that? And now it's a big joke for her. She's like, we get those all the time because you told those people you read the thing. Which, it's funny, but I do read these. And I think to myself, in a day and age of technology, when we have progressed so far forward, where we have email, and where we have text messaging, and where we have cell phone technology, and where we have, pretty soon it's going to be holographic and, streaming technology, I still get this piece of paper every week, without fail, from this group of people. I have no connection to them. I do not visit them. I do not go to their church. I don't do anything for them. I don't give them money. And yet I still receive these. And I would just like to say how much I cherish that. I think that is very cool.
Wow.
It shows a sense of community. It shows a sense of love towards people. But at the same time, I know they're trying to get their word out, and they'd really like people to join up. I mean, it is Mennonite, so I would be able to dress all in black, which is kind of cool.
And wear a cool hat
and drive black cars. Yeah, I can wear bowler hats, which would be really cool. But I'm not interested in doing that. I do enjoy reading these, though. But I just find that interesting, and most people probably wouldn't think. By looking at me, talking to me, watching the show, reading any of my stuff, that I would be, cool with that. But I am. I am very cool with that.
Up where I'm from, I think it's the Star of Hope, but it's the same idea. It's Mennonites going around passing these tracts out
Right.
And they just come up right up to the door, just put it in there, and they usually just leave.
Right.
And occasionally they might say something if you're out, but they don't knock on the door. They just
Right.
put it on there and go.
Exactly.
And yeah, you can really admire that.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that at all. I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I do know that there's a little town just south of Dillsburg here. It's called Crawl Town.
Yes.
It's a heavy Mennonite population in that area.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's basically kind of where these are coming from. And the people are nice. I think they don't knock on doors because of the trends of... The thing about Mennonites, which is interesting, is they're not quite like Amish, but they are like Amish. The thing, though, is that they don't go quite as far. They believe in technology. They believe in, you know what I mean? Like, they might have a laptop, but they really don't kind of get into that stuff. They do have vehicles. They do have stuff, more modern technology. To an extent.
no, they do. It's really hard to describe it.
Yeah.
They could have. It's okay to have a car. It's
Right.
in their religion. It's okay to have a car,
Right.
but it has to be a plain car. Any
Yeah.
car you want, but it has to be plain.
Yes. And usually black. It's either black or dark blue. That's what every single one I've ever seen has always been a dark
So
color.
they can have a house. Well, I don't know about that. I've never really can't say that I've seen a Mennonite house before.
I've seen their houses. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen their houses, and they're usually very plain, but they do have things like rototillers. I saw a guy with a rototiller.
And
once.
tractors
Right,
and
and they do
electricity
tractors. Right,
and bathrooms.
Yes, they have all the progressions of normal society.
It's just plain.
Yes. And the children don't have cell phones, but they do have access to like computers and stuff like that. But a lot of the times they don't go to regular school. They have their own schools. Especially Mennonite populations. We have a lot of those around here. But we have that more than we do Amish. And I think it's just basically like a sect of the Amish. Like they just split off and went,
Well, there's a whole gang of them, and I think they're related. I don't know
That's-
who
yeah.
came first, but I'm pretty sure that your Church of the Brethrens, your Mennonites, your Amish, those kind of Christians, I'm pretty sure they came from Germany.
Yes, yeah. A lot of them, yeah. German, Dutch areas, yeah. I think you're right on that. And I think you progressively work your way up the technology chain as you come up from Amish. You get more to Mennonite. Then from Mennonite, you work your way up to Brethren. Brethren is more that really kind of open. You don't have to wear, specific clothing. You don't have to stay.
Unless it's feet washing and communion. That's when you have to wear the prayer covering.
Yeah, yeah, Monday, Thursday, and yeah. The thing is that I really kind of appreciate where they come from. Their simplistic nature. I shouldn't say it that way because that just sounds condescending. It's not really simplistic nature. It's just they have a simplicity to the way that they live. And I admire that. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, yeah, go back to the old ways of building stuff, everything you want to make, and not be so damned, dependent on technology, But at some point, I have to wonder when is that going to not be enough for them anymore? Basically what I mean is when we get to a point in time where we don't have bricks and mortar stores anymore, now we're ordering everything online. Well, is that going to be enough for the Mennonites? Is that going to be enough for the Brethren? Is that going to be enough even for the Amish? You know what I mean? Because the Amish, people won't even be coming out of their houses. They'd just be ordering everything and then staying at home and doing their jobs there. You know what I mean? So nobody's going to go out and buy stuff at an Amish market. You know what I mean? There'll be practically limited socializing. So how are the Amish going to live? You know what I mean? They're not going to be able to get money. And I don't know if you've ever done it, but have you ever been to an Amish market at all and priced a quilt?
Their stuff's expensive.
$800 for a fucking quilt. I was just like, damn!
Get that? You honestly get that?
$800, and people buy them, and they buy them like
They have. I don't know firsthand, but I have heard on more than one occasion the craftsmanship in their work is just superior.
Phenomenal. Yeah, their quilts are like they're to die for because they last forever. They're heirloom. You can use it your whole life. Hand it down to your children. They can use it their whole life. And unless something catastrophic comes along and destroys it, like a bad dog or a good fire, or you know what I mean? Bad dog, good fire. Then you're just going to keep passing it down over and over and over again. It's just going to be that way. And some of the ones I've seen are just, oh my God, they're beautiful. But I got to know that shit took hours and hours and hours to do because these people are making this shit by hand. There's no sewing machine. And each one of these little teeny tiny hexagons is like all sewed together in these giant enormous patterns.
Did you ever see an Amish or a Mennonite girl, young, young, that you just wanted to go up to them, pick them up, put them on the counter, and rip that dress up over their head? Did you ever want to do that? Well, I have, mister. And let me tell you what.
I wouldn't even fucking go there, man, because as soon as you said that, I was thinking, oh shit, nickel mines, this is not going to be good.
Well, I'm not talking rape. I'm saying consensual sex.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever want to have,
just if she had interest and I had interest, would we, go to town? I have seen very limited. I'm sorry to say this, and it sounds fucking terrible when I say this, but the majority of the girls that I've seen look like they are inbred. And I don't mean like in a nasty, being mean kind of, retarded manner. I'm just saying they don't look like beauties.
I would certainly agree with that with the Amish. In fact, the pretty ones are way few and far between. I hate to say that too. Their men look the same way too.
Yes, the men are a little bit, you get to a Jebediah who's only in his 20s and you're just like, God, you're the fuggliest looking dude. You and your singular beard going all the way down. I agree. But Mennonite women are a little bit different because they can marry outside of their
I have seen lots of good looking Mennonite women.
Yeah, Mennonite. I'd spend many a night. No,
in fact, I'm thinking of one right now.
Thank God we can't see below your waist.
Yeah, it is a good thing.
Yeah. No, but I just wanted to say, that's it's an interesting group of people, and I do admire them. But at the same time, I also think that there's some interesting folk out there, and I kind of worry about them when the world continues on, technology wise, and I worry. I worry about that kind of stuff until I have to go to sleep, and then I just don't give a shit, and then I just fucking go to sleep.
Just like an Etch-a-Sketch, man.
Yes, sir. All those thoughts, concerns, and fears just right out the door. That's it, man. Just start all over again. Yeah, so, I think we're out of time.
We are out of time. Thanks for joining us for both shows back-to-back consecutively.
Right on time.
And I have got to piss again.
God, this man gets some processing that coffee.
I tell you what, I'm fast.
Yeah. If you like the show, like, subscribe. Let us know in the comments section what you thought about everything. If you don't like the show, like and subscribe to it anyway, just for shits and giggles. My name is Jeff.
And I'm Dan.
And this is the Jeff and Dan Show. You guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you if we're coming back in a couple of minutes.
Thank you.